It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Dog. I'm thankful that you're joining me today because we're going back to music by Queen today, and I am excited for it. For some months, I have been asked by Queen fans to look at the song Innuendo, and it's been on the list for quite a while, and I'm happy to get to it today. I have listened to music from this album in the past. I actually know The Show Must Go On quite well. I even looked at it here on the channel previously. But Innuendo, the title track from this Queen's 14th album, released in 1991, is one that I don't know very well, so I'm happy to dive into it today. This is the last album that Queen would release while Freddie Mercury was still with us. He was diagnosed with AIDS in 1987, and he kept his illness pretty private during this era and this time, and he was apparently quite ill during the recording process for this album in 1989 and 1990, which delayed the release of the album until 1991. And sadly, about 9 months after this album was released, Freddie ended up losing his battle with AIDS. And, it's a sad thing because this is the last album with Freddie doing his thing. And from everything that I've read about it, the album is a wonder. It's a return largely to the band's roots. They've got some hard rock tracks, they've got some complex compositions, and they've got some psychedelic effects, and of course, powerful vocals from Freddie. And so, it's going to be fun to look into it. This particular song, like many compositions, began as a jam session between Brian and Roger and John. And Freddie heard it and he liked it and he started crafting melody and lyrics. And then all four of the band members contributed to finishing the arrangement while Freddie and Roger worked on the lyrics. So what does innuendo mean? Y'all, I had to look it up just to be sure. An elusive or oblique remark or hint, typically a suggestive or disparaging one. So the band is trying to tell us something, and they may be telling us something in code, or they may be telling us two things at one time, something on the surface and something underneath the surface. And we'll see if we can figure out what they're trying to tell us. The lyrics, I said, are by Freddie and Roger, and I read that in part they pay homage to Kashmir, the song by Led Zeppelin, and the music was finished by the band. So we've got Freddie on vocals and keyboards. We've got Brian May on guitars, Roger Taylor on the drums, John Deacon on bass, and Steve Howe from Yes joins in on this particular track, playing some Spanish guitar. So I can't wait to hear this. Let us dive in, y'all, to Innuendo by Queen. Here we go. Okay, what do we have? Clown, juggling some planets. Got a lot of balls in the air. Okay. Drum roll. That is warning music. That's an E, F, E, half step. And a new key with the same progression. You want to put third, I think. Back down to E. It's foreboding. It's kind of serious.
While the waves crash in the sea and meet the land. While there's a wind in the
That's a major third from where they were. And they were in a minor key, so they went to a distantly related key, a third away.
Yes, we'll keep on trying.
And they used that as a dominant into C sharp, and they went into a major key. Oh yes, we'll keep on trying.
We'll keep on trying.
our time.
Just passing our time.
What are we trying to do? What are they trying to tell us here? Back to that heavy riff.
While we live according to race, color, or creed.
While we live according to race, color, or creed.
While we rule by blind madness and pure greed.
While we rule by blind madness and pure greed.
Our lives dictated by tradition.
There's that move of the
superstition,
third.
false religion. Through the eons and on and on.
Eons and on and on and on. And there it goes to a major key again.
We'll keep on trying. We'll tread the
C
fine
sharp.
line.
Wow.
We'll keep on trying.
There we go. That's the dominant.
Till the end of time.
Half step up to A. Okay, this is the Spanish guitar stuff. New section. Hang on a sec. I need to go I need to look at what just happened though before we get into this. That was awesome to start off with, and this sounds like it's going to be a completely different sound. So, what have they told us so far? You know, we're dealing with innuendo. So, what are they telling us, and what does it mean? And is there a double meaning? So, the first verse, while the sun hangs in the sky and the desert has sand, while the waves crash in the sea and meet the land, while there's a wind and the stars and the rainbow till the mountains crumble into the plain. So, as it has always been, right? While this has happened, the desert has had sand for a while, right? So this is something that they're describing a set of circumstances that is ongoing and long-lasting. The next verse, while we live according to race, color, or creed, while we rule by blind madness and pure greed. So, yeah, as it has been for forever, right? Our lives are dictated by tradition, superstition, and false religion. Through the eons and on and on and on. And then then it goes to the major key, because those verses are in that heavy, where were they? E minor, right? And then they switch halfway through the verse to G sharp minor, and then they use G sharp as dominant to C sharp to get to these verses. And it's a completely different sound from the verse to the chorus, isn't it? And it says, we'll keep on trying, we'll tread that fine line till the end of time. So what are we trying to do? We'll keep on trying to do what? In general, reach our full potential. They're describing a set of circumstances that is ongoing, that doesn't seem like it's ever going to stop. And yet we'll keep trying to live our best lives in spite of that? Not sure. But we're going to keep right on rolling with this middle section. Here it is.
All through our splendor, don't take offense at my innuendo.
Through all the sorrow, all through our splendor, don't take offense at my innuendo. What is he insinuating? That's cool, that little rhythmic. And they're back in A minor. And the claymation is seriously cool too, y'all. It's like showing us historical things.
You can't be
like through the looking glass.
Just turn yourself into anything you think that you
What do
could
you now?
Be free with your tempo. Be free, be free. Surrender your ego.
Be free with your tempo, be free, surrender your ego, be free to yourself. Okay, so a harder version of that A minor progression they were doing before. I like the juxtaposition of the news footage with the music video of the guys playing their instruments, animated like that. So E was dominant, and now E is tonic, and they're going back to that riff. Okay.
If there's a God or any kind of justice under the sky, if there's a point, if there's a reason to live or die,
Destruction. Ow.
if there's an answer to the questions we feel bound to ask, show yourself, destroy our fears, release.
Show yourself, destroy our fears, release your mask.
Yes, we'll keep on trying. Hey, tread the fine line.
There's that same move that they were doing before, the C sharp major.
Keep on smiling. Yeah. And whatever will be, will be. Just keep on trying till the end of time.
To the end of time.
Till the end of time.
Y'all, his voice, even at this late stage, still has the power and color that we all remember. What a fascinating song that was. I think that's going to be one of these ones that takes me several listens to get to really understand what they're talking about and to get to expect all of the different changes in that. They were all over the place. I would consider that formally a ternary form, ABA, right, with that little Spanish section in the middle. I am curious about that little section. Maybe that little section, because he says it. He says, through the sorrow, all through our splendor, don't take offense at my innuendo. That is the lyric that is sung while Richard Wright is playing during that little section. And I wonder if that section is the innuendo itself. That they say, keep on trying, we'll keep on trying. But that in reality, maybe we're just kind of stuck in this merry-go-round of a world, because they're telling you while all these things are happening, which are going to continue, and nothing's going to change. We want to be true to ourselves. We want to keep on trying, but in reality, nothing's going to change. And maybe the innuendo is that this irony should be understood by us while we're going through it, so that we try not to get too jaded through the process. Because if we're trying to change things, we expect them through hard work to at some point change. And they're saying, it's not going to change. It's not going to change, y'all. But we should, keep striving to be free and true to ourselves. And, these lyrics are really fascinating. While we're while we're trying to be free and true to ourselves, just understanding that, what did they say? Our societal lives are dictated by tradition, superstition, and false religion, right? So in the continuing face of our daily, ever-present struggles, maybe what they're telling us is that we should try to find the courage every day to release our own masks, to face our own fears and to not avoid or try not to avoid what is holding us back and seek to live our lives as much as possible on our own terms. What do they say? At our own tempo. Surrender your ego to be free. Be free to yourself. You just turn yourself into anything you think that you could ever be. It's a dichotomy. It's an irony. It's almost sarcastic. It's like, yeah, this human experience, we live as autonomous human spirits, our souls, our wants and our desires, and we should be free to ourselves and be who we want to be and live life on our own terms. Meanwhile, the stuff that's happening in society and all around us, the large forces, are going to keep right on rolling, whether we try to stop them or not. So I'm not exactly sure but they are saying keep on trying till the end of time. So, what an interesting song, right? It's like this cycle that just keeps repeating, and to try to keep our wits about us, and to try to keep the main thing, right? The KISS method: keep it simple, stupid. And in the end, I think, and Freddie, I think, exemplified this. If we live our lives the way that we feel true to ourselves and we show that to the world, there will be some that don't like it, feel threatened by it, want to counteract it, all that sort of stuff. But in the end, you'll be respected because people will see that you are true to yourself and you're being honest and communicating that yourself to the world in that way. And so people will see you and they'll understand what you're about. And maybe that's the lesson here. Fascinating tune. I have to listen to this again, y'all. It's got a really interesting chord progression. They were between E and G sharp minor in the verses, and then they were in C sharp major-ish for the choruses, and then that middle section was like an A minor. So, and for a split second they went to C major, if I remember that right. So they were in a few keys for this piece, and Queen always brings it. The complex, really interesting compositions. Wonderful stuff. I am glad to have heard Innuendo by Queen finally. So thanks to the Queen fans for sticking with me and for suggesting this song for us and for our community. Thanks everybody for being with us today. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.